for saying that, Jared. Now you guys can hear me.
There we go.
To the Wednesday evening. What is Beachbody coaching side hustle thing? What is this thing that my friend invited me to? I totally talked for like a minute without anybody hearing me. I'm like, hey. Anyhow,
moving.
if I sound like I'm out of breath, I just want you guys to just know a little bit about me. I'm naturally very introverted, quiet, somewhat shy. So I did like 40 push-ups in a row to get my heart rate up and to be able to come and share with you guys today. So I'm not going to take too much time right off the bat, except for welcome you guys here with us today. My name's Scotty. I have 5 kids, ages 11, 9, 7, 5, and 3. I've been married to my wife for 12 years. We've been together for 13 years. We met at a Warped Tour rock concert in the summer of 2005, and here we are today. So that's just a little bit about me. I want you to know a little bit about what to expect during this this hour. I'll go a little longer than an hour, only if there's questions at the end that you guys have specifically, where I can hop back on after everyone's done and answer any questions that you have. So I'll be available for that. So just know that. I'll kind of watch the chat thread. If you're new to Zoom, there's a chat feature. Put a question in there. I'll watch it throughout the whole call. I'll save all the questions on a little document, and then I can address them at the end. The event page where you guys found this link, I'm going to put something up every 15 minutes or so on there. Just some details like about how to get started and many of those types of things. I'll put those up throughout the hour while we have people presenting. So you're like, okay, what am I going to expect during this hour? There's going to be 6 people who were once challengers, we'd call them. Somebody went through a fitness program with me, or on their own, even in some cases. They fell in love with health and fitness, what it does for them, and they now are helping other people. So my job and role is to help teach them how to do that, kind of in a teamwork atmosphere. And that's what you guys are seeing here today, is we are working together as a team to help with our mission of ending the trend of obesity. So I want you to know just a tiny bit about the company that we represent and why we're called coaches and where this came about. To give you guys an idea, most of you have probably heard of P90X, Insanity. Some of the other ones are like Turbo Fire, Body Beast, Chalene Extreme. There are like 25 plus different workout programs that are world-class fitness programs. Some of you guys may have heard of Shakeology or Energize or the Beachbody Performance line. Those are all products of Beachbody. The workouts are, and those products are. So the way that Beachbody was started, it started out or in the mid-90s with Power 90 and then P90X, and I won't go through the whole list of them as they came out. Insanity, and it was an infomercial business where they show before-after pictures, get ripped in 90 days or get ripped with Insanity in 60 days. People buy on the phone, and they order the program, the DVDs come to their house, and then they do them. What they found out as a company is that when people were helping each other and sharing accountability with those programs, more people got results and more people bought the programs and followed through with doing them and creating a healthy lifestyle. So it was about 11, 12 years ago, they said, hey, why don't we pay these people that are doing the workouts and sharing them with people and put some of our marketing money that's going to infomercials into these people that are sharing their journey, sharing their transformation, sharing what they're going through. How about we pay them, because they're walking billboards for us. So any coach that invited you here, that's what they are. They are a walking work in progress. None of us are at like our ideal weight and place we want to be, but we are walking billboards for the company of Beachbody. And we can go on and expand on that a ton about how I went to lunch today. Before I pass it over to our first speaker, I went to lunch today with one of the corporate members of Team Beachbody, of Beachbody, and he helped take the company starting in about 2010 from a $50 million company that Beachbody was to a $1.3 billion company. So we represent a world-class fitness program and fitness company that we help people get results, because we have these 4 pillars. We have world-class fitness, like the programs. We have world-class nutrition with the meal plans, something called Q2B Mindset, and Shakeology and the performance line. We have something I think is super magic, which is accountability, of somebody else holding you accountable. to your goals, which you're missing out at a lot of times at the gym. I love the gym. I work out at the gym sometimes, and some of the faces on here I see do that as well. But the accountability is magic. And then the financial rewards is the fourth pillar of what we would call making this company super successful. And we'll talk to you guys a little bit about some of those things and how you can be financially compensated, how you can get discounts on the products and that throughout this meeting. But for now, I'm going to pass it over to our first speaker that's going to share with us. Her name's Kerry. Kerry, I'll just unmute you. There you go. It's all yours.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Okay. I'm outside away from my kids in my safe zone. um, so I'm Kerry Hill. I live in Meridian, Idaho, and I have been a coach for about 4 years. Using Beachbody products, our family's been using them for, I guess, going on 5+ years now. My journey did not start with a challenge group. It didn't start with someone inviting us or anything like that. It started with a P90X DVD that we had that given to us or something. And it wasn't even my journey that got us familiar with Beachbody products. It was my husband's. And I'll back it up to 2013. He was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I was 8 months pregnant. I thought the world was ending, that everything I had envisioned my family to be, of active and camping and all this stuff that we like to do, I just thought it was going to be gone because he could barely get out of bed. And I was thinking, how is he going to pick up my baby? And he had to quit his job. And so fast forward a few months, and the drugs they gave him, the first side effect is cancer. And so we just knew right away this can't be our life. We got to do something different. And so he had this P90X DVD, and he just thought, I'm just going to try to get healthier. So he put on the DVD, and he threw up a few times, and I'd had the baby at this point and was overweight. And so he's struggling with this, and I'm going to overweight. I'm kind of watching him from the side, thinking, I can't do that. I've had a baby, and I just have to accept my mom weight now. And I just have to deal with it. And he came to me one day and he said, I've been watching my buddy Scotty that I grew up with, because Scott and my husband, Scott, they're both Scots. They grew up just houses down from each other in a regular neighborhood in Idaho Falls, like regular, middle-class working families. And he said, I've been watching him, and if he can do it, I can do it. And he's doing this coaching thing, and he helps people, and I don't really know what's going on, but he's like retired himself, and they paid off their house and all this stuff. And so I'm thinking, okay, I've never heard of Beachbody. I didn't associate with P90X with Beachbody, and what does that even mean? And so he said, well, to get started, let's buy a challenge pack, and you can get the 21-day fix. And it had just come out. It was hot. So it was everywhere, and it was $140, I think. And we were broke. I mean, he quit his job. We cut our income in half. And I thought, what? And then it's going to be $140 a month. And I thought, but you know what? I'll support you in anything you want to do, because he'd gotten great results from P90X at that point. And seeing Scotty's results and passion, I thought, okay, we'll give it a shot. $140. Here we go. And then I lost 8 pounds and 10 pounds, and here we go. And I'm still not in a challenge group, because I don't know who was invited here by Scotty, but I don't know if you do challenge groups much anymore, but you've never really been it wasn't something when we started that you were big on challenge groups. So I hadn't been in a group of people encouraging me. We just kind of did it, signed up. I blasted like, hey, I'm doing this. Who wants to do it with me? And just created the excitement. And so I was really a discount coach, because I thought, we were so broke. If I can just get 3 people to do this with me, then they can pay for my Shakeology, and I can keep going. So I wasn't in it to retire my family. I wasn't in it anticipating that 4 years from then I would be still here coaching, with my husband staying at home full time, with Beachbody income being a legit income for my family that we can do things with. I mean, we're almost debt free. We do things that we just would have never thought 4 years ago we thought we were gonna like have to sell our house and live in a trailer. I mean, it was bad. So I guess you don't have to start out as with these big dreams, it's hard to sometimes place yourself in Scotty's shoes, where he's been doing this for so long and has his family retired and all these amazing things. It's hard to sometimes say, envision yourself doing that same thing. But if you can envision yourself just paying off your Shakeology, with helping 3 people a month, if you can envision yourself paying off your medical bills and just Xing off these 3 things, those are actually 2 of our goals that we had written on our board when we first started, and I still have them up there on their little orange star sticky notes with big crosses out of them, because we paid for medical bills, got out of our debt of that stuff from having the baby, and paid up for our Shakeology every month. And now, we more than pay for a mortgage every month, and it's a full-time income. So if you're here looking a little starry-eyed and it's kind of sounds like this too good to be true, know that you don't have to start out with these big goals of retiring yourself. I mean, as much as now that's a huge goal of mine, and I can see the vision and stuff, but start out small with small goals and accomplish them, and you'll see the potential in yourself and what Beachbody can offer you and your family. So I guess that's kind of I talk really fast too, so hopefully everybody could even understand me. But
No,
yeah.
we understand you, absolutely. So I just want to, as we continue throughout this call, obviously Kerry mentioned a couple of things about she's earned money that's covered her mortgage and some other things. That's the first time that's been talked about today. So I just want to put this out here. It'll be once on the video. That's all we need it. But it's the Beachbody income disclaimer. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. Everybody's income is a direct reflection of their own efforts, diligence, and skills. Okay. So thank you, Kerry. I want you guys to know that you guys can also, if you have questions, I'm going to be watching in the chat thread. You can type them in there. I'm going to address them at the end. But with that being said, we are going to pass the time on to Jennifer, if she's on here. I don't think Jennifer's quite on here, but she knows that she is coming up. Jennifer, are you on here? I can't scroll through real quick. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to address one of these questions until Jennifer hops on. Okay, someone asked, how do you keep yourself motivated to stay healthy? Like, raise your hand if you'd love to stay motivated to stay healthy over time, right? I would. Okay, so I will make you hold on to that thought, because Jennifer is here and she's going to take it over right now, and I will get that answered for you at the end of this call. All right, Jennifer, you are unmuted.
Okay, awesome. Perfect timing.
Yes.
All right, cool. So it's awesome to see so many faces on here tonight, and I'm excited to share with you guys just a little bit about my story and just kind of how Beachbody kind of fits into my life and into my world. I have been a coach now for about 7.5 years, which is so crazy. And actually Beachbody has been like in my life for like 8-ish years, because I got started first as a customer. Well, actually not a customer, a borrower of P90X. And I started that program, which maybe some of you guys have seen on the infomercials. It was a program that you do from home, and I just loved being a part of the program and finding other people online that were also doing it. So I got great results with the program. It was the first thing that I actually did and completed, which in normal life for me, I'm very flaky. I'm very like move from one thing to the next all the time. Like Monday, my favorite flavor is chocolate, and by Tuesday it's vanilla. Like I just change all the time. So it was like the first thing I actually started and completed, which really just like boosted my confidence and just made me think like, wow, this actually works and it's something I can stick with long term. And I thought that Beachbody was like just P90X, but it turned out there was all these other programs. There was Insanity, and at the time the other popular one was Brazil Butt Lift and Rev Abs. And so I was like, cool, this is something I can really get behind. And through doing P90X, I met Scotty, who you guys just got introduced to, that just shared before me. And we just kind of were part of this community of just supporting people and helping people in their fitness journeys, whether they were doing Beachbody or running or going to dance classes or whatever it was. We just like created this community of people that supported each other and helped each other. And we did like little fitness challenges, and it was just cool. It was just a place to belong. And then after that, I was at this time in my life, I was working full time as a paralegal, and I was also going to school full time as working towards my master's degree in public health. And I was volunteering at the emergency department at the hospital close to where I worked, because I was like searching to try and fill this void that I had in my life. Like, I was not a big fan of where I worked. It was just like unfulfilling and unrewarding. And I knew like I wanted to like contribute somehow, some way, and just like play a bigger role in life. And I had no idea that Beachbody was going to be it. Like, cause I was just, here I am in Beachbody land, just doing this program. And I had no idea it was going to turn into what it did. But once I discovered that there was coaching and that I could do what Scotty and I were already doing, but actually make an income from it, it was a no-brainer. So I worked it kind of like a hobby for probably like 2.5 years or so before I started coaching full-time. And that's really what my topic is supposed to be, is about coaching full-time and kind of the potential with that. And so for me, the way that it worked, like some people, like they start as a stay-at-home mom and they, begin coaching full-time because they're already at home. But for me, I was already working and going to school. And so Beachbody started off as just a small part of my day-to-day life. But then as it continued to grow, about 2.5 years in is when I started coaching full-time. And it really opened up a lot of doors for me, because it's not even necessarily that I work all day long from home doing Beachbody. It just opened up avenues for me to do other things that bring me a lot of joy too. So around that time is also when I became a mom. So I left my paralegal job when I came home on maternity leave when I had my son, Mikey, who's now 5. And, so I got to be home with him in those first few years, and I didn't, I was able to like be there in those early stages of development, and to see him crawl and to see him, start walking and all those things. I was always right there, which was so awesome. And the other really cool thing that like the potential when you're coaching full time is that you are building a team. And I don't know about you guys, but like for me, I was never like the popular girl in school. I never was like the person that had this huge group of friends. Like I wasn't the person that walked into a room or like to a party and everyone like went right to me and was like, oh, good, Jen's here. Like I was the one that just walked into the room and like nobody even noticed. And then I just stood against the wall hoping that nobody noticed and I might know 1 or 2 people. But then it's like through coaching, like I was able to bring together people that are just like me, like people that are introverts and people that are shy and people that are, maybe quiet or reserved or, just similar to me, and just kind of create this culture and like this environment of just people where we're just doing life together, which is one of the things that I really enjoy most about coaching. We have a lot of moms on our team. We have, people that are newly married, and it's just cool, like to be a part of that with them. And just like the community aspect is probably one of the things that I love most. A few weeks ago, we did a call like this with Scotty, and afterwards I told him like that being able to collaborate with Scotty and some of the other coaches that shared last time when we did a call similar, it really like fills my joy, because I just like being able to collaborate and work together and kind of like do these small group projects. And things like this I may not have been able to do working full time, in an office, because my time was a little more limited. But now I'm able to collaborate and like make these groups and do like retreats and do special things with my team and my challengers and things like that. Also, like working full time as a coach, I'm able, like my husband is home too. And so it's opened up, coaching has opened up other avenues for us to grow, you know, to be able to get into real estate, investing, and other like traveling and other income opportunities, I guess you could say, that Beachbody opened to us through like the income that we have in Beachbody as well. So, and that's been really cool because of the tools and the things that we've learned as coaches, like through personal development and learning about that, and the disciplines and things that we developed through, you know, learning to be a coach and building this business. So it's been a really awesome joy for me in my life. Like I said, I've been doing it now for 7.5 years. I'm a 6-figure earner in the business. I am part of the Million Club, which means that like my overall earnings are over $1 million in all of my business centers. And I hit that goal a couple years ago. So it's really crazy because sometimes like when my anniversary date of that comes around, I think back to what my income was as a paralegal, which was $35,000 a year. My husband was a police officer and his income was about similar. So it's like if I divide $1 million by 35,000, I think it came out to like 22 years or something it would have taken me. Let me just do the math really quick now. I'm curious. 1 million divided by 35,000. Yeah, 28 years it would have taken me to match my income as a paralegal. So that's just so crazy because now like this is what I do from home. I'm able to take Mikey to school and pick him up from school, take him to martial arts. I'm able to like be at all of those events. And when I grew up, like both of my parents worked and I had a great childhood. I'm not saying anything about that, but it was super important to me as a new mom. Like I wanted to be there for my son as much as I could because my parents, because of their work schedules and stuff, they weren't. Like I was the kid that either didn't get to go to school events because I had no ride, or just everyone else's mom was there and mine wasn't. So that was just something that was really important to me, and that, you know, through coaching I've been able to, you know, to do and to make a priority. So anyways, that's just a little bit about my story. And if you guys are thinking about coaching and finding a way for it to fit, I think for me, just that fear of judgment or the fear of failure is something that held me back. But there's really no downside, because if you're doing it, you've got to do it for yourself, you know, to get healthy and to get strong and to just be a part of this supportive community. And it's a win-win. So thanks for hopping on and for letting me tell you guys a little bit about me. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Awesome. Thank you, Jennifer. And guys, if you do have questions, put them on there. We will address them at the end. I'm just like overwhelmed with joy. I just have this, like, Jennifer and I doing P90X together before we ever knew what this thing was. And I get to hear about her talking, like I see it every day. Like we see each other multiple times throughout the year at reward trips, but like, what they've accomplished in retiring her husband from being a police officer and him being able to do what he loves with real estate now from home with her providing an income with Beachbody. It's like, I'm like, holy cow, because I overcame my fears and doubts and invited Jennifer on this journey with me. Look at what happened when she put the work into that. So I just feel very blessed to be here. First and foremost, my topic, I usually do that topic. So I'm super excited that she got to do that topic. And that's not my topic today about the full-time life. I do want you guys to know, just briefly, I'm a 7-figure earner with Beachbody. That's $1 million a year. I live a very humble life. I live in my starter home still with my wife and my 5 kids, and we enjoy traveling and planning for our future. I'm just going to tell you one thing that's incredible. Both of my parents work for me full-time now, and I have another assistant. So I have 3 people that I pay to help me do my work so that I can do the things I love with coaching, which is calling my prospects, doing live videos in my challenge groups, and talking to people about their goals. So there's a lot of opportunity there, but my topic today has to do with the beginning. And the beginning is my favorite part because that's the most emotional part for me. And that's where you guys are at as well. So I'm going to talk about kind of this misconception about time and how you can fit coaching into your day to make it. Now, if I'm going to talk to you guys about that right now, it's going to be kind of hard to relate with, because this has been my full-time income for 6.5 years. Like, I haven't had to clock into a job or be accountable to any other person but myself for 6.5 years. So I technically have all the time in the world from when I wake up till I go to bed to work on my business. So you guys, most of you guys are not in that state. You have your moms, you're in the PTO, you have your Relief Society presidents, you're got your church calling, you have your full-time job, you're going back to school. Like I'm looking at my cousin's wife, Hannah, here, just went back to school for her first day yesterday. So time is a bigger issue, and that's what it was for me as well. And that plus the fear of failing were the two things that kept me from being a coach back in 2010 when I first started my health and fitness journey. People ask me all the time, when did you start? And I signed up on April 11th of 2011. That's the date that I started as a coach, and it's 8 months after I should have started, okay? It's 8 months after I should have started. I knew about the coach opportunity. I knew it was something that I could do, and I was capable of doing. Sorry, my little boys ran in here. A little bit distracting. Want to say hi, boys? These are my two sons. They're running around. But hey, but hey, that shows you how we, there you go, the light. Can you turn it on, son? Okay, shut my door. So that shows you a little bit how we fit coaching into our pockets of time. I didn't have those two little boys when I first started my coaching journey. And one thing I think I should share is I wouldn't have my two sons had it not been for Beachbody. We could barely, it was 2011, April 2011. It was 18 days after the birth of my third daughter. My oldest three are girls. That I remember getting to work early in the morning. I had this habit of picking up my bills from the lockbox at the end of the cul-de-sac. And there was the hospital bill, the doctor bill, anesthesiologist bill, there's an ear doctor bill. And I just remember opening them up a little bit before 5 o'clock before I was going to start my work. I had the habit of doing that and throwing my junk mail in the garbage so I could do my bills on my lunch break and put them in the spreadsheet and do my bank balance and all that stuff. Because life was so busy. I worked a 12-hour day. My wife would drop the kids off at the babysitter at 3 and go to a night job from 3 to 11 at the Hilton Garden Inn. And I would be there from 5 to 5. I would pick the kids up from the neighbors, and then I would take care of them on my own. So this time I got an 18-month-old, a 1-year-old, and like a 2.5-year-old. And I remember getting to work that morning, seeing those bills, and this heavy feeling came over me. This heavy weight came over me, just weighing down my shoulders. I felt like the world was spinning around me. When I was sitting in my cubicle, I literally felt like it was just spinning. Like I was just so afraid. I had this fear. And it was these things, you guys have probably felt like this before. Like I was just like, man, what do I got to go back? Do I need to go back to school? Do I have to start a whole new career? Do I need to send my wife to school and go into more debt for that? And it was that morning where I sat there and I was like, Beachbody coaching, like that thing that my coach Lindsay has talked to me about for the last 8 months. She's followed up with me every single month. Hey, you should be a coach. You're already in love with these programs and you're helping people. You're just not getting paid for it. And it was that day that my fear of failing, of not knowing how to take care of my family, and that failure as a father became greater than my fear that I had of failing as a Team Beachbody coach. And I joined that day on April 11th of 2011. And I made a commitment that I was going to look at this as a business, a real business, not just like some hobby thing that I was just going to try out. It was like me going and getting another job or going back to school. So I took those two things, going back to school and starting a new job, into full mindset as I started my business. I was like, I'm going to treat this like a 6-figure business, and I'm going to treat this like school. Like I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about leadership. I don't know anything about marketing. I don't know anything about sales. I run a service department and I write service manuals. So I can serve people. I can help people, support them, serve them, and encourage them. But I need to learn all these skills. I'm going to take my opportunity as a coach every moment and learn these skills. And over the next 4 years, I'm going to build an income on the side. And I'm going to learn the skills that I would learn at school, but I'm going to learn them by actually applying them in a business. And that's the cool thing, is I knew that other coaches had created amazing businesses, had all these skills, were teaching. So I took every opportunity to do that. So during that time, guys, I'm a brand new coach. I want you guys to get this in your mind where I was at. Going to work at 5 in the morning. I had a 1 hour lunch break from noon to 1, and then I got home at 5. I would pick the kids up from the babysitter at about 5:15. I would come home, feed them, play with them, bathe them, put them in bed at 8. And then I would have to be back up for work the next day at 5 o'clock. That was my life. So I technically have no time in most people's books, right? I'm watching 3 kids under the age of 3 and working full time and have a church calling as well. So at this time, I'm like, okay, what I was teaching at that time, if I remember right, there were 8-year-old kids in what's called the primary. And I was like, okay, I'm going to use every moment. And I started to look at my time. Okay, what am I doing on my lunch break? I'm either playing Call of Duty on my desktop with my coworkers, or if I'm tired, I'm sleeping in my car with a comforter for 1 hour. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing at 8 o'clock when the kids go to bed? I'm actually just sitting there like a zombie playing Call of Duty until I get tired and I'll fall asleep, and then I'll wake up at 5. So I took those pockets of time. The time I was playing Call of Duty, I also realized that I was playing softball twice a week. And that involved traveling, stretching, warming up with the team, playing, driving home, all of that stuff. And so that was 2 to 3 hours twice a week. So I took those pockets of time. I took my lunch break and I would do phone calls. I would check in on my people that I was helping. I would talk to a new prospect. I see Steve on here. I talked to him just the other day. We did a call. I just walked out here in my neighborhood because it's my full-time job now. But back in the day, it would have been me walking out of my cubicle and saying, hey, what's up, Steve? And having that same conversation, Steve, that you and I had about coaching. So I used my lunch break to do phone calls like that. I did my lunch break to write a blog post or a Facebook post about my friend that lost 20 pounds with insanity. So I used my lunch break for that. And then when I was with my kids, I was with my kids from the 5 o'clock until the 8 o'clock. But I quit playing softball because here's the thing. We could not pay our bills. So you have to kind of give a gut check to yourself. Should I be playing softball? I love softball, but should I be playing softball if I cannot pay the bills? And the answer is really no. I should be doing something to pay the bills and to take care of my family. So I made that choice to not go do that so that I could be 100% with the family, with the kids. When I would put the kids to bed, guys, I would sit down and I would work from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock every single day, 8 to 11. And I would just do the things that my coach taught me over and over. And that's the thing I want you guys to know. If you're like, I'm going to do this, we have trainings every single week. We host things like this together as a team. Like I have videos that tell you step by step by step on how I meet somebody on Instagram, how I message them, what I send them, what I say on a phone call, everything that you need to know how to build this business, we teach it to you. Just like if you're at school learning how to market for a business or to do sales or to lead a team or to build a company, we teach you guys all of that. So I just wanted to kind of share that story to kind of get rid of that misconception about I don't have enough time. I'm looking at Karen. She's going to share coming up here. She's like one of the busiest women that I know, and she helps at least 3 people get started every single month. And she's like the busiest person that I know. So I want you guys to know that you can find time, and it doesn't have to be doing it full time, like an 8-hour day. It's finding the pockets of time. I've seen people that have built incredible businesses, that just, they find 1 hour a day. They find like 3 half-hour pockets throughout the day, a half hour before they go to work, half hour at lunch, half hour after the kids go to bed. But they're consistently doing that, and those consistent activities of helping people, helping others transform over time have built them something pretty incredible. And when I look at incredible, like, yes, we have a 7-figure business, but I remember how incredible it felt to make my first $300 in a week without leaving the house, because my other option was to be at work 12 hours, not see my wife, have her go to work at night, and then have my kids go to my parents and me work a job outside of the home, go wait tables or go do something outside the home so that I could earn that extra $200 to $300. And I was just so overwhelmed and felt so blessed that after just a few months, I was able to do that from my house from my couch with my laptop, I was able to earn an extra $200 to $300 every single week. And that equaled the amount that my wife was making at a full-time job at the front desk at the Hilton Garden Inn. Sorry, I need a drink of water here in a minute. So at about 10 months into the business, we started considering having her walk away from the Hilton Garden Inn. And that's when she got to come home from work, because I was making the $200 to $300 a week that she was making at the Hilton Garden Inn. And for the first time in 6 years of marriage, we were able to be at home together as a family at nights. And so I don't want you to think you have to have a six-figure or build this huge, phenomenal business. Like $200, $300 will change most people's lives. And you guys have friends that that if you could help them earn an extra $200 to $300, they could pay for their school loans. They could start paying off their school debt and all those things that they're worried about every single day. So there are pockets of time, and we could teach you how to fit that into your life on this team. So guys, with that being said, I'm going to pass the time. I get talking, so I could go forever, but I'm going to pass the time over to the woman that I mentioned, who is like the busiest of them all, Karen, and you are unmuted. So take it away, Karen.
All right. Thanks, Scotty. So Scotty is a hard one to follow because he's so full of energy. I think I could listen to you speak for the whole hour and not even realize an hour went by. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit how I got into this business. Well, how I got into Beachbody. I was into fitness. I have a regular fitness routine. I love fitness. And I was doing my thing, not really seeing results. And a friend had mentioned Beachbody, or P90X. That was the initial program. And I did not want anything to have to, in fact, I called it P90X because I was so unfamiliar with the products. I figured it was something that everybody was doing that didn't really work, because I saw, my conception of Beachbody was people posting sweaty selfies on social media. And I didn't like that. I didn't want any part of that at all. And so my friend that I trusted was my gym buddy. She had told me about P90X and convinced me to try it. And even after I had told her I was going to try it and I invested, I didn't, like the night before, I was sick to my stomach. I didn't want to do it. But since I had invested the money, I'm like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm going to go all in, and I'm not going to fail because I just spent so much money and I cannot afford to fail. In fact, my husband's actually in the back room and I did not tell him that how much it cost. And so I knew that since I was investing this much money, like there's no way we could fail. No way I could fail. Anyway, I did this program and it basically changed my life. I had this regular fitness routine, and I finally I was seeing results with this program. So I loved it. And then I felt like I knew it, I got it. And I wanted to share what I had learned with everybody that I knew. And so I started this Instagram account and this website and Facebook page because I was on this mission to like make a difference. And then all these people started asking me to do Beachbody coaching. And I'm like, no way. Like I'm not posting sweaty selfies on social media. Like that's so not me. And plus I was not into social media at all. And then one girl, she just said, fitness is a thing that it will never die. It's something that always is going to be big. And there's more generations coming. And it's something that is it's a multi-million or probably billion-dollar industry that is never going to die, that people just keep on coming into. And I'm like, okay, she has a good point. This is my passion. This is what I love. And I love to help people. So why don't I give it a shot? And so I knew Scotty, and I knew that he knew the business. And so that's why I sought him out, because I wanted to learn from somebody who knew the business. Because again, if I was going to invest in something, I'm not going to fail. Like I want to do a good job. So I want to learn from somebody who knows what they're doing. And I remember showing up at his door and I said, don't even tell me I have to do social media because I'm not going to do it. He's like, that's fine. Just do it however you want. And so I kind of didn't do social media at first, but I came around later. Anyway, that's my story. That's how I got into coaching. But I will tell you about the time management thing that Scotty had mentioned. When I had signed up to be a coach, I was working full time. I had a fishing line. I shouldn't say business, but that was like a side job that I did at home. I would tie fishing lines for like 3 hours at night, and I hated it so bad. I did that, and then I was primary president. It's a president over a children's organization in my church, and I'm a mom of 2 boys, and I'm a wife. So I had a really busy life, and yet I was able to. I think I crushed it that first month. I got a ton of people my first month. I don't remember, but there was time to squeeze it in. And so the time is not an excuse. So I like how Scotty hit up on that. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can do this business even if you're not to where you want to be with your health and fitness. We are all on a different journey. And as coaches, we all have different goals, we're at different physiques, and nobody really that is on my team has like a billboard like physical body. You know what I mean? Like we're not bodybuilders. And a lot of people have that misconception that we have to have this great, perfect body before we can jump into the business and start motivating other people. But one thing that I've really learned about this business is that people want to come on the journey with you, and it's not all about how you look. That's what I love so much about Beachbody, is that it's not, yes, it feels good to look good, but it also feels good to feel good. And that's a lot of where our focus is we focus on feeling good about ourselves and loving ourselves, and going on a journey, not only physically, but emotionally. And when I transformed, the physical transformation was fabulous, but it was the emotional transformation that I love so much. And that's what I love to share with other people. And that's where the true fulfillment comes for me. And what I do is having that emotional connection with all of these people. And one thing that I've also learned in Beachbody coaching is that my problems, I feel like sometimes my problems are really bad, but then I talk to other people and their problems are much worse than what I feel like my problems are. And I've got so many messages saying, hey, Karen, that post that you made really hit home with me, and I really appreciated that. And we connect on an emotional level, and that to me is fulfilling. As a coach, we've talked about money, and we've talked about paying off debt and making money, but really, like, this is the fulfillment part of this job. If you're doing something that's going to make money, you might as well love it and feel fulfilled, because that's a need. You have to feel self-fulfillment. And so that's what this job has brought to me, this opportunity. And it's not, we're not promoting a diet, we're promoting a lifestyle. And that's what I also love, as opposed to like the keto and the paleo and all that other crap fad diets that's going on right now. And then people are oftentimes, sorry, am I taking too much time? Okay, I think I'm okay. People are often worried about selling the product. I hear that all the time. Well, I'm not a salesperson, I don't want to sell. I honestly, I don't know, I want this to come off wrong. I don't feel like I'm ever selling a product. Like, I feel like I'm doing what I do, and I connect with people emotionally. I share with people what I'm learning and how I'm growing as a person, and people connect with me. I'm myself, and they connect with me, and that's what they're attached to. That's what they want a piece of. They don't want to see my abs and be like, oh, we want your abs as much as they want to feel what I feel and be a part of where I'm going, if that makes any sense. And also, as far as the journey, I remember, like, when I first started this business, and I would present something like this, and I was so nervous, and I felt like I didn't have anything to offer. But now, 2.5 years later, and having all the messages that I've had, and all of these people that I felt like I have lifted up and helped start their own journey, like, who was I to feel like I couldn't do this? Like, I felt so self-conscious and felt like that I had nothing to offer, but look at what I've accomplished. And who are you to feel like you can't accomplish this, that you can't lead a team, that you can't lift somebody up? What if your story really connects with somebody else, and then they start their journey, and you make a difference for them, and they make a difference for other people, and then it's just a pyramid of making a difference and making our world a better place? That's what Beachbody is about, and that's why I love this business. What else? There's one thing I wanted to say. Oh gosh, I forgot. It was like a good thought right in my mind, and I forgot. But I guess really it comes down to, you can be afraid to start because you don't feel ready, and then 8 months, Scotty, that it took you. You wonder why you didn't start, or you never start, and then you wonder what you could have accomplished, or you tried out, you fail, maybe you don't have anything to lose because you jump into this opportunity and you learn, but you really have nothing to lose by just trying. But if you don't try, you have to spend a lifetime wondering, what could I have accomplished? What difference could I have made? What lives could I have changed? So that's kind of what I've experienced with Beachbody, the fulfillment and the joy that comes from it. And I think that's all I've got. I don't even know who's after me. There's a million messages, but I haven't read them. Is that good? Good time frame? Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm next. And I wrote notes because I'm like Scotty, and I could literally just sit here and talk your ear off, and then you would all leave and nobody else would get to say anything. So I have to write notes to remind myself to stay on track. So my name is Tamara, and I have been coaching for 1.5 years. And I'm super excited, and I'm honored that Scotty asked me to speak on this call. I remember there being a time when I first signed up where I was like, please don't ever ask me to do anything like this or go live, because I will never do it. And then you just get comfortable with it. And it's like hanging out with your friends and just having this super awesome conversation. And yeah, so now I'm okay with it. Anyways, so I am a mom of 3. I have a daughter who is 12, a son who is 9.5, and another son who is 3.5. And I am from Canada. I am a certified nail technician, and I work from home doing that. And my husband and I have been together for just over 17 years. He's actually my high school sweetheart, so I've spent over half of my life with him. And this month, next Saturday, actually, we will celebrate 11 years married. So he has actually been in the oil field for a little over 6 years. So that has definitely been kind of tough, but we make it work, and that's just where we need to be right now. So a little bit about me and how I got where I am. I have a history of depression, mostly postpartum, anxiety. So this really stemmed after my 9.5-year-old was born. I had no idea what depression even was. I had no idea what anxiety was. I just knew that I hated how I felt. I was just like, I felt nauseous and I felt sick all the time, and I hated being around people. And that was really, really hard. And I kind of felt like if I could get healthier, then I would be happier. But I had no idea where to start. So actually, my first encounter with Beachbody was P90X and Chalene Extreme. However, I was doing the workouts. I was just going through the motions. I was on a very destructive path. Sorry,
Mama,
can you what?
Can Bien win can Bien win and this what Anthony all people.
Absolutely. Go ask this to help you. Sorry. He repeats himself about 12 times before he gets out what he wants to say. I was on a very destructive path. Otherwise, sure, I was working out and like that was super cool, but my main goal was to be a size 0 because I thought fitting this certain size would make me happy. So I was binging all the time and purging. I was counting calories right down to like that very last grape that I still remember being 3 calories. And I would punish myself with exercise. I would run in the heat of the day until I was almost puking. I was a cardio junkie. That's what I thought being healthy was about. And I rolled through pregnancies, miscarriages, just a ton of things that really made me struggle with my anxiety and depression. And then our 3rd baby was born, who I get why I went through what I went through, because he was that puzzle piece to our family. So after he was born, I really struggled with postpartum again, and this time really, really bad. And so I remember my son being about 10 months old. So it'll be 3 years this October. And I just remember hating how I was feeling. And I knew that somehow I needed to end this cycle that I was going through. And so I borrowed 21 Day Fix from a friend of mine. And that was basically the beginning of my journey to a better me. I had tons of, struggles and failures and all of that kind of stuff. But throughout all of that, I had started an Instagram account, which is where my coach Heather reached out to me. And I remember thinking like how cool it was that she was doing this. And like, I loved this little friendship that I was forming with this person. I had no idea who she was. And she invited me to the coaching opportunity. It was probably a good year. And I just kept saying like, no, that's cool. Thanks. Like, that's okay. I never thought it was something for me. And so my husband and I hit this point where we were really struggling financially, and it was, Lane, quiet, please, honey. No, not out here, honey. It was coming to this point where I needed to go and get a job. And I worked when my older 2 were really young, and I absolutely hated it. I hated missing out on them. I hated not getting to wake up in the morning with them and tuck them in at bed. And so I really just started praying hard for something. I'm not sure what I was praying for, but I knew that I just had to trust that God had something for me. And the coaching opportunity kept coming up. And I knew that this was that thing that I'd been praying for. And so I took it as a God thing. And here I am. I listened to him, and I'm very grateful that I did, because it was one of the best decisions that I made. So I am going to jump into the rewards of this program so that I don't go over my time. So first of all, the relationships and the friendships are my favorite. The connections, the sisterhood of women that I've been able to build relationships with and call my very best friends, whom I would have never ever met had it not been for this coaching opportunity. The people on this team are like family members. We're all very close, and I can reach out to anybody if I need anything, and we work together as a family and as a team. So it's really awesome just to be able to build connections and friendships with these people and do life together. Even when we're worlds apart, that we can still do these things together. So that has been one of the best parts, absolutely, of coaching. The second thing is personal development. So I probably didn't pick up a book after school for about 10 years, besides like a kid's book. I know that's super terrible, but I just was not a reader. And so when I started this coaching thing and I was told like, hey, we need to read, I was like, we have to do these live videos and we have to read. Like, what is this? I don't want to do any of that. But let me tell you, I recommend self-help books to so many people now. When I see them struggling or they're sharing things with me, I never thought reading books, listening to audiobooks would ever help me overcome self-limiting beliefs, would ever help me grow as much as I've grown, and just learn that no matter how hard it gets, I need to keep going. And that failing forward and being uncomfortable is a good thing. So personal development is definitely awesome. The other thing is accountability, having a group of people where we can stay consistent with our health and our fitness, where we can share our goals and our vision and our mission for life, because that can be super scary to set big, huge goals. And then who cares if you don't do them, because nobody knows. So having this team hold us accountable for those things and our challengers and the people that we're doing this together with is really just an incredible thing to be able to come together and help each other with that. The next thing is Success Club trips. So the company rewards us with incredible trips just for working hard. So I haven't had the experience of going on a ton of these trips, but I watched the other coaches on this team go to the Bahamas, go to the Riviera Maya, and just to know that that's something that the company gives them to say, hey, thank you for your hard work. Like, what other company does that? So my first experience with any trip was the Coach Summit trip in Indianapolis, which completely changed so much of this journey for me, and actually getting to meet the members on this team, to hug them, to love them, to actually physically get to be with these leaders and these mentors and these incredible people was something that I will never forget. So that's just super cool that the company rewards us with that. Next year we are going on a cruise, which I'm so excited about because I've never been on a cruise ever in my whole entire life. And my husband gets to come for free. So that's super exciting and super awesome that we are rewarded with those things. So yeah, that's super awesome. So lastly, I don't know if I'm doing good for time, income. So Scotty had mentioned already about Beachbody not guaranteeing any income, so I don't need to do all of that. So it is possible through this company. I have seen it, I've watched it, to retire your parents, to quit your full-time job, to pay off debt, to reach financial freedom, to be able to serve others and help them financially. It's incredible to see this happening with the people on this team. The very first thing that you guys need to understand, for those of you who are thinking about coaching, is if you are only in this for the money, it's not going to work. This is not a get rich quick scheme. It's about having heart. It's about having hustle. It's about wanting to help other people and pour into them and serve them. That is what this is about. It's not about just getting money in your bank account And that is huge for me, because I never ever imagined that helping other people, you would get a reward that way. So it still just blows my mind every Thursday when I see the rewards that I get from helping other people. And so I just want to share something really quickly with you guys. And I'm going to try not to cry because it's just one of those things. So my very first paycheck was only $40. But you guys have to remember that that's when we were really, really struggling financially. My husband didn't have a whole lot of work in the oil field. So we literally had $0 in our bank account. And that $40 meant so much, because I could get a jug of milk and I could put a meal on the table for our kids. And so, I'm sorry, that's just really powerful to me, that something this big will reward us, and that we are able to help our families. Like, that's just something that I'll never forget, that feeling of, being able to get that jug of milk that I was wondering where we could borrow that money from. So now I lost my train of thought, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just kind of my experience with that first paycheck. And so if you guys are thinking about doing this coaching thing, like, really just search your heart and see where you want to be. Think about 2 years from now, 5 years from now. Don't let fear stop you from taking an opportunity. And I tell all of my girls this, that we need to just jump and grow our wings on the way down. Like, we'll figure it out. You can't know everything when you first start. So thank you guys for listening and being on this call with us. So thank you. And I'm not sure who's next, but I'm going to let them take it away.
Okay. So you guys can hear me, right? All right. So I had Kendall come sit by me because I get nervous, but anyways. So I just wanted to just share about my experience so far with being a new Beachbody coach. So I've been a coach for about a month, and so far I've loved it. And anyways, I want to just talk about my initial impression, what I did before Beachbody, and like what I love about it now. So initially I was really scared about being a salesperson. Like, I'm super not professional. I ramble a lot. I was just like, I'm not the kind of person to do this. Like, I don't know anything. But little did I know that just like part of being a successful coach is just sharing your story authentically with people. Because like somebody said earlier, it's just all about how, fitness is something that everybody wants to kind of get a better hold of in their life. So that's been part of my success, is just from sharing my story every day with my friends and having them just approach me and being like, hey, what are you doing? So another thing was that I didn't believe in at-home workouts. I thought they were silly and cheesy music in the background and ineffective. But like, literally we would go to the gym for months and our bodies would remain the same, which was okay, but I wanted results. And so we started doing the Lift 4 program, and we are on week 4. And literally, like, on week 2, I felt like I was getting abs, and I was so excited. So I want to just testify, put my witness out there that these at-home workouts legitimately do work. The other thing is that I was scared that I had to be a fitness and health expert. So really, it's not, this is a learn as you go type of thing. Like, I literally had never done Beachbody before. I was like, wow, I'm not going to do well in this because I don't know much about this program at all. But this is something that you just learn about as you help others learn about it as well. Another concern was the money. And so, at first, like, paying $170 to like sign up for a challenge pack and to like become a coach and all that jazz, I was like, okay, it's a little bit pricey, but at the same time, when you break it down, it's like roughly 50 cents a day going towards your health. So like, who can't afford that? 2 quarters a day. And so within my first 3 weeks of becoming a coach, I was able to sign up a couple of my friends, and I made $215. So that had already covered my Beachbody sign-up fee. So before Beachbody, I was very passionate about mental health. I was thinking of becoming a social worker. I worked at a treatment center for teens for about 7 months, realized that everybody hated me. It wasn't going well. I felt super burnt out. And I started considering other options. So I didn't know much about fitness and about working out, but I knew that I loved working out with my husband. And so I knew that I also wanted to stay in shape and have like a healthy family. So I thought about maybe going back to school to become like a fitness instructor or personal trainer. So then I learned that Kendall's cousin Scotty does Beachbody and makes money from it, and you don't have to go to school. And so I was like, okay. So we went and talked with Scotty about it. And literally like the next day, I signed myself up to be a Beachbody coach, because I was just at that point of just, I didn't want more debt. I wanted to just start making money now, and I just wanted to like help people in a different kind of way. So for me, how I started was just going all in, and I realized that fear was the only thing holding me back. And so I just dived straight in. I'm in a challenge group, which means that I'm being held accountable to other challengers who are doing the same program as me. I also have my own team of challengers who are doing the program with me, and I act as their mentor. And it's just a great way of keeping one another motivated and inspired and accountable, most of all. So what I do as a coach, it's about developing myself. So Tamara talked about the personal development aspect. Another part of it is just working out, drinking your Shakeology. Another part of it is developing others, so helping them get the resources that they need and helping them get signed up when they're ready to go. And then just check in daily and share your story authentically. So it's really not as complicated as we might think. It doesn't need to take a lot of time. It just depends on how fast you want to grow your business, and if you want it to be a business. So the reasons why I love coaching really quick is just because it's something that keeps me healthy and in shape. It's helped me develop friendships, which I felt like the only friend I had before was my husband. So, but another thing is that like it keeps me continually motivated to improve myself on a regular basis. And most of all, I'm doing exactly what I hope to do as a social worker, which was to just motivate people to improve their lives, to challenge their inner demons, to improve their personal and family life, and become self-reliant and develop better habits for their futures. So honestly, you get out of this business what you put into it, and if you feel like you're ready to go all in, then let's do it, and let's get you to sign up as a coach. That's all I have.
Awesome. Heather is going to close us out.
Awesome. Thank you. So I loved hearing from all of you today. I feel like we have such an incredible team. I'm so blessed and so grateful to be a part of this team family. And it's just been amazing to me, all the friendships that I have gained over the last 3 years since I first started as a coach. I know when I first started, I was really nervous and scared. I didn't know what I was doing. And kind of like Kendall said, my husband was my closest friend. So it's been amazing to me and create so many friendships since then. Literally hundreds of women that I otherwise would never have met. And that's probably my favorite part about coaching is the relationships and the friendships. I love the memories. I love the growth. There's definitely struggle with owning your own business and suddenly becoming an entrepreneur after working in the ICU for 8 years as a nurse and, doing some fitness instructing as well. I had never known how to speak on video. I didn't know how to run a business. I had no business background at all. I'd never posted on social media. And so I've come a long way in the last 3 years. And it's really what I love most about this business probably is just the growth that comes along with learning new things, trying new things, and just, the friendships are incredible. So I'm just grateful to be a part of this, and I'm grateful for all of you guys for sharing your stories. And thank you to everyone who has joined us tonight. We appreciate your time very much. And I think it's great to be able to hear these different perspectives and different stories from other people so that you can understand that you're not the only one feeling those feelings of fear. It's totally normal. And it's an excellent decision, there's nothing that you would regret by saying yes. But if you were to say no, then that is definitely something that you'll regret later on and always wonder, what if? So keep that in mind when you're thinking about becoming a coach. And I can tell you that it will change your life for the better in so many ways. And you'll be so grateful and happy that you did. It's been an amazing journey for me so far. I'm excited to continue to take it onward and upward. We're growing as a team. We're really seeing a ton of improvements with the company, and things are just getting better and better all the time. So I'm really excited to see where this goes. And I'm really excited for all of you who are starting out as new coaches. You're going to love it. You're going to learn a ton. This is going to make you a better person. This is going to teach you things that you've never learned before about yourself, about personal development, about how to be disciplined and how to work hard, how to enjoy the rewards of your efforts. So really excited for that. I won't share too much more about me since we've been on here for a while. So I just wanted to answer a few questions. The first one is, how do you keep yourself motivated to stay healthy? And I feel like being a coach adds a lot of extra accountability, because that there's people who are looking to you as an example. And so that you have people who are counting on you to be healthy, and that just helps you even more to stay healthy and motivated and continue to work on yourself as well. Because and that's the cool thing about this, is that we not only get paid to help other people, but basically to help ourselves as well. So when we take care of ourselves, it inspires others to take care of themselves. And that's how we stay motivated to be healthy. And for me, I just love exercise. I always have. It's just a habit. It's really about the little habits that you make that compound over time for huge success. The next one is, other than meal prep and workouts, how time consuming is it? So it's really up to you how much time you want to spend on your business. You can spend as little or as much time as you want. Just depends on how quickly you want to run, or if you want to walk. And we all have seasons in our lives where things are more difficult. For example, when I had my baby while I was coaching, I did slow down a little bit. And now that he is 2.5, I'm able to spend more time on my business because I choose to, and I want to grow, and I want to take things to the next level. So the next one is about schedules and costs and how coaching works. So you get to create your own schedule. That's the cool thing about it. My 2-year-old just came in the room. But how I do it is, I wake up before my kids. I work on coaching for a couple hours before they get up. I work on coaching while my 2-year-old is taking a nap. And then I'll do a little bit after they go to bed as well. So you can work it around your schedule, just fit in pockets in your day. And you have to understand that I'm running with my business, so you don't necessarily have to run if you don't want to. Like, if you don't have time, you can spend less time on your business if you need to, if you're in a season of life where, you have to do what you can do, basically. So the costs, someone talked about the pack where you get started anywhere from $140 to $180, just depending on what you're looking for. And you can also add other things onto it. Now my baby is changing the light on me. The next one is and then general questions about how coaching works. So we run online accountability groups that we add people into. And the cool thing is that all the workouts, all of the nutrition plans are created by professionals. So it actually saves us a ton of time, so that we don't have to create those. We just find the people who need help, and then we link them in. We have all the tools and resources that you guys need for success to be healthy and to stay committed and inspired. You get full support, full encouragement, training, help, everything that you need. So definitely go for it. You won't be sorry. You won't regret it. You'll love it, and you'll grow a ton. Any other questions?
I don't think I saw any more come through after that.
Okay, cool. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you, Heather. I did enjoy the light changing, though. Made it super entertaining, like you're at a dance party or something in your house. Anyhow, thank you everybody for being on live with us today. I know Heather mentioned like the cost of signing up, anywhere from $140, up to $180. But I want you guys to know what that is. It's pretty cool. One thing I love is that whether you decide to become a customer or a coach, it's the same price. And that's pretty cool, I believe, because what you get in that package, so that is you get all the programs that you've heard mentioned today. You get all of them on a streaming service similar to Netflix. It's called Beachbody On Demand. So you can stream it from your laptop, your smartphone, a smart device, a smart TV, your tablet, any of those things. You can stream any of the workouts. You have access to all the meal plans. And that service alone is $99 a year, which I believe every human on the planet needs to have that, should have that in their home. And then the other thing you get, that's if you're buying that alone, is $99. The other thing that you've heard mentioned is Shakeology, or the Beachbody Performance line. Shakeology, I love. It's not a meal replacement shake. It's not a weight loss shake, a magic shake. Like, you have to exercise and eat healthy. But what Shakeology is, it's a super dense, easy way to get 70 whole food, superfood ingredients in one meal super quick. And I've never missed a day of using it in like 8 years. But that, for example, is a 30 serving bag, is $128. Okay. The cool thing as a coach, or when you sign up as a coach, or even as a customer, is when you get that Beachbody On Demand and the Shakeology in one package, it's only $160 versus paying for them separately. So it saves like $70. The other cool thing that I want you to know is that, let's say you want to be a customer, it's $170. You get your Beachbody On Demand for a year. We coach you through these accountability groups, and you get your first bag of Shakeology, and you begin to use that and experience that. The cool thing is, if you want to become a coach, if you get that challenge pack that it's called, the Beachbody On Demand with Shakeology, during your sign-up process, you get the $40 coach sign-up that you've seen typed in the chat. You get that $40 coach sign-up fee waived. So I just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. And then the last thing, it's pretty incredible. You guys have seen some of the financial rewards that are available, along with the emotional and personal growth awards that happen through this opportunity and this being a part of this team as well, is that, like, you literally get to run your own business where they develop the products. You just get to do extra marketing on yourself and how you, and the service aspect of the company. All the marketing, product development, shipping, returns, customer service on that end is done by the company, and you only pay $15.95 a month to have your coach account. So they take care of all that for $15.95 and give you a website. So the basics of it are, let's say I'm talking to Heather and she's like, okay, I want to try that Beachbody On Demand or that 21-day fix in Shakeology. I send her a link, she purchases it, and she gets the product sent to her by Beachbody. I don't have to inventory or store things at my house. They do that. I get a direct commission for that package. So I would sell her that package and help start her for $160. I would make a $50 commission. So I want you guys to just understand that basic aspect of how that works, because I know you guys heard from Hannah, a brand new coach for 3 weeks, how she made like $210, $215 in her first few weeks. That's how it happened. Is she talked to her friends, like, okay, I want to do this with you. She sent them the link and she earned the commission. And that's the cool thing about it, is she earned enough to cover her sign-up cost herself, which is pretty awesome to be able to do that in any business, is to break a profit like that in the first month. Because a traditional business, if you're going to go out and start one, is going to take on average 5 years to break a profit after you pay off the debt that you have to get in your loan to build that company. So I just want to share that with you guys. If you have any questions, once again, ask the person that sent you here. And then I'm going to also ask you guys to reach out to the person that invited you on this call and let them know where you're at on a scale of 1 to 10. 1, I still need to learn a little bit more. I need to investigate and watch a little bit longer. 10 being, I'm ready. Sign me up. Let's do this thing. I'm ready to completely transform my life. So reach out to the person that invited you to this call and have that conversation with them. We're also here, all of us as a team, to help answer those questions for you guys. So we'll see you guys later. I know everybody's got to get back to their families, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.